You're listening to Bourbon, Beards, and Belvederes, the podcast where whiskey, cigars, and beard products aren't just a hobby, they're a lifestyle. Hosted by Adam, Paul, and Jerry, three guys with real experience, full beards, and even fuller glasses. Each episode serves up thoughtful tastings, laid-back cigar talk, and honest takes on beard gear and beyond. From top-shelf pours to everyday essentials, this is the place where conversations flow as smooth as the whiskey. So, pour a glass, light one up, and enjoy the ride. This is Bourbon, Beards, and Belvederes.
Welcome to Bourbon, Beards, and Belvederes. I'm Adam.
Yeah, and I'm Paul.
And I'm Jerry.
And it's a wintry, cold, bullshit kind of day here in the state of Kentucky. Paul's suffering from the same thing. Jerry, we don't want to hear anything about your weather. But it sucks. I'm freezing right now. Paul's cold as shit. I can't even put a space heater in here with me right now because it'll blow the damn the circuits over there, and I won't be able to watch this football game. It's a bitch, but we're going to drink some whiskey, warm ourselves up, smoke some cigars, and we're going to tell you guys all about it. We're always starting with a palate warmer, so I'm going to go down and then up. So, Paul, what are you drinking on today?
I'm drinking some 30-degree old line Navy Strength 114 American Single Malt whiskey at 57% alcohol. It is sitting here right next to me, and it is. I just looked and was. Oh, now it says it's 29 degrees outside. So, ice cold whiskey to start.
Very shitty. Jerry, what you got?
So me and Paul jumped on a virtual tasting last week. Was it? I think on Monday.
Yep.
And we met a new friend. Well, we did. He doesn't remember a damn thing from that tasting.
I heard about
that. Shady Knoll. I'm pretty sure they're out of New York, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
It's just their 84 proof rye whiskey. I don't remember their mash bill or anything, but I do remember they finished their whiskey in port barrels, I believe. I know it was a wine barrel. I think it was port. But
I can tell you in a minute as you're talking, because I think I took a picture of the sheet. Yeah, it was Andrew Richards, farm manager and head distiller at Shady Knoll. And
crap.
Yeah, the port barrel one. He also sent us a single barrel rye.
Yeah, with that 118, I think.
Yep.
They do a lot of like apple brandy. There we go. 70% rye, 15 corn, 15 malted barley. And then they finish it in the port. I think the cask strength port or cask strength rye had too much port influence for me. This one I think is done right. It has just enough to kind of sweeten it up a little bit. But you still get that rye influence behind it. Yeah, we had, what was that, 7 or 8 samples that night?
Yeah, it was a big lineup that night.
7 or 8 1-ounce samples, and I'm pretty sure he drank all of them within that hour and a half Zoom call. He was having a good time.
Yes, he was. Almost couldn't really understand him after the recording stopped.
Oh, as soon as that recording ended, it just like hit him.
Yeah, it was. He enjoyed himself, but no, it was cool that he agreed to send out some samples, and I enjoyed both of the
Yeah, I liked them both.
out. Yeah.
For me, I don't know what it is. Like you guys know, we usually like that 100 plus, but this 84, shit, where'd that look? Yeah, 84. It just, you get a little bit of that rye floralness, a little bit of spicy, and then that port is just there, just enough there to tell you it is there. I enjoyed this one a lot.
Well, it sounded like he enjoyed it too. So that's awesome. I'll have to get my hands on it sometime and give it a shot. I started with the Rebel Reserve. We've had it on the show before. Stick it up here so folks can see. This is a bottle that I don't think is in production anymore. So if you'd like to try it, get in touch with me. I'll get you some. This is 90.6 proof, and that loud crash that you just heard was me dropping this motherfucker. From a height of about 4 feet. The bottle survived. I lost about a shot glass worth. It's soaked into a box sitting next to me. And that's because the cork is broken. And I was holding it by the top, which is stupid. And it just shifted right off of me and fell to the ground. On the nose, there's something the cold's doing to it. Okay, it is 22 degrees outside. I don't know what the temperature is in my garage. Now, my garage is somewhat climate controlled, and by that I mean there's a heating vent right there for the whole garage. So, you know, if I stand over there at an angle under it, my head gets warm. The rest of me, not so much. I don't know what the temperature is of the whiskey that I have sitting over here behind my bar. Whatever the ambient temperature of the room is, I'm sure. So it affected the nose of this. The nose is reminiscent of Robitussin, something that I do not enjoy because of a misspent youth. And so whenever I nosed it to start, I was not real happy about it. Luckily, it didn't affect the flavor. It does not taste like Robitussin. It's still quite delicious. But that Robitussin's there. I don't know what that's all about. Don't like it. Don't like cold weather. Fuck this noise. So, you guys want to get poured up for our first pour?
Yeah, where are we going first? Bourbon or rye, Jerry?
Let's go bourbon. The rye is a little strange, so we'll start with the bourbon. And pull it up a little bit. So this past summer, I was luckily enough to go on a Kentucky trip with some of the guys from our local whiskey society. One of the stops that we made to do a pick was at Dark Arts, and we partnered up with Blake from Sealbox. We thought we were going in for one barrel. We were divided on two. We got a hold of Blake to see if he wanted to do two, if he was up for 2 barrels, and if not, if he wanted to do 2 half barrels. Blake basically said, fuck it, if you guys like them, buy both of them, put my name on them. So we got both of them. So the first one is going to be 11.5 year, just MGP bourbon, unfinished. It's 60 36.4, just that standard, well, that high rye MGP mash bill. Like I said, 11.5 year at 114.8 proof. We dubbed this one the Cookie Monster because we were getting a lot of like almost bready chocolate chip notes on it at the distillery. Once the bottles came in, I kind of still saw it, but it really wasn't there. Still is a little bit. This was a pricey bitch, but it is a good bitch. So.
Yeah, I don't get a whole lot on the nose whatsoever. I don't know if it's just because it's freezing cold out here and everything is being, hard to open up. I mean, I had these samples inside, so they're not 29 degrees, but just me sitting out in the cold, I don't know.
Mine were outside in the garage, and well, that doesn't make sense. Mine were in the garage, not in the house. And I'm not getting a lot off the nose either. It's kind of faint. It's hard to pick up.
Yeah, I can only maybe pick up like a bready note. One time I tricked my brain into thinking I was like smelling beer. Like it almost has like a grainy bready note. Maybe a little bit.
The thing I got off it was like a bready note, and then I don't want to say cherry, but there's definitely like a fruit aspect there on the nose.
I do not get that on the nose. I definitely get the fruit on the palate. And I get that bready, kind of like not a cherry tart, maybe a blueberry tart, something like that, and not the kind that are iced, nothing with icing. I don't get anything that sweet, but I get, the bread and the fruit. It's kind of odd with the cigar. little bit of a chocolate hint in the back. I don't dislike it. It's just kind of weird. That's what I get.
Yeah, it kind of evolves. There's that fruitiness up front, and I couldn't put my finger on it. It's like a dark berry. I think you might have it with blueberry.
Yeah.
But I do get that chocolate like chip cookie dough
on the finish.
On the finish, yeah. It's interesting.
It's almost like one of the, for me, it's almost like the cheap off-brand chocolate chip cookies, but like the crunchy ones, not like the soft, like.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Yeah.
It's you get like the crumbles at the end of the bag or the box, whatever it is. That's what I get on the finish. That's where the chocolate chips come in. It was, when we tasted it, there was a little bit more. Obviously, it sits in a barrel for a week or two longer, which you never know what that's going to do to the whiskey. And then we don't know when that sample was pulled from that barrel and how long that whiskey was inside that barrel before we tasted it. But this was my second choice, and after we got the bottles in, it ended up being my first choice after going back and forth with these.
What's the proof on that, Jerry?
114.8.
Okay. I thought that it might be north of 110, especially when I burped. There was a little bit of heat that came up with it. Kind of like, I was debating on whether or not to talk about it, but I'm going to. Like, so I don't know if anybody's ever done this, but in the past, when I've gotten really bad heartburn, I've mixed together some baking soda and water and drank it. And the resulting gas that comes up is rather warm, generally. And that's kind of how it felt whenever I burped after drinking this. I know that's kind of but it is a thing that happens, right? It is something that people do. So that's something to be on the lookout for. But I was able to, pick up, it was at least north of 110. It's good though. I like it. Jerry was under the impression that I tried one of these not too long ago and I didn't like it. And I can't remember yesterday. So that was probably true. But I don't know that it was this bourbon. I do enjoy this. This is tasty.
Yeah, with the cigar, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Like, it doesn't really change it much. The chocolate notes or the remnants of the chocolate kind of turns more into like a toasted chocolate or something like that. Almost like like you're baking cookies and you left a chocolate chip on the pan and it kind of burnt. And you ate it. That one, it has almost that. It's not a bad thing. It's just, to me, the whiskey overpowers the cigar a little bit, which again, it's not a bad thing. Like I enjoy the pairing together. You're not gonna, doesn't take away from each other. Doesn't really add to anything. But on a day like this where I just worked 36 hours in the last 3 days with fucking hockey, I don't really want anything too crazy. I just want a nice cigar, nice whiskey, and nice relax, and that's a perfect one right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think you hit it on the head with the burnt chocolate. I was going to say like dark chocolate it turns into going from the cigar, but
there's something else to it.
It's definitely like like that crispy edge of the pan that got like all the heat and all the moisture pulled out of the chocolate, and it's just you still eat it because it's chocolate, but it's like got that burnt kind of crispy taste to it, which is fine. I like it better without the cigar, though. I have to say, I like that chocolate cookie dough, and it almost completely eliminates the fruit in the front.
Oh yeah, that
which
100%.
I liked. I liked getting a little bit of fruit that kind of turns sweet into this cookie dough thing. So yeah, I'd have to say I do prefer this pour without this cigar, but probably any cigar. I think this pour is perfect on its own. This cigar is fine on its own too, so I'm happy. Drinking them separately, smoking separately.
When you said the burnt edge, it reminded me specifically of the burnt edge of a brownie.
Yeah,
that's specifically what I'm getting, which I won't lie, I really enjoy that. So that's great.
I don't know if me and Paul talked about it on an episode or if it was after an episode. I don't think you were with us, so it was probably after an episode. we were talking about the brownie pans that are in like the S shape, the little squiggly. So basically every piece has a crust to it. Yeah. I don't remember. It might have been after one of those fucking tasting Zoom calls that we did. I don't remember.
Yeah, those are the only way to make brownies in my mind.
I got to get one of those.
Or you make them in a muffin tin. So they're all individual circles of edge.
Every brownie in the world has crispy edges if you eat it in a big enough piece.
There you go. I'll have one 13 by 9 brownie, please, with my glass of milk.
I will eat the entire fucking pan of brownies. I love them.
All right. Well, this.
Do we want to go to that second pour, or do you want to talk about cigar
I got
first?
it poured up. Tell us about it.
Yeah, let's go.
So this is the second offering. This is another MGP. It's a 95.5 MGP rye. This one's aged for 13 years, but it was finished. This is a double oak rye whiskey, and it's kind of misleading because on the bottle it says double oak. Well, it's not coming through now, but it says double oak rye whiskey, but it is finished in an American single malt cask. And I don't remember. I'd have to look through my pictures. I don't even think it was on there. I don't remember how long it was finished for, if they even told us. But I think we came to the conclusion that the American single malt that they got was from Stranahan's, I think. I think we narrowed it down to Colorado, or at least I think they hinted at Colorado, and I think we kind of got them to say Stranahan's. I could be completely wrong. We drank a lot that day. When we did this, we did 13 samples, ranging from just unfinished bourbon, unfinished rye, to finished bourbon, finished rye. We even tried some Armagnac and stuff like that. So we tried a lot. So I could be wrong with this Stranahan's, but that comes out. But this one I feel like would go good with the cigar.
Well, I'll say the nose is not what I disliked about this. If this is the one that I disliked, I'm sure that if I can taste the single malt in it at all, that's gonna ruin it for me. But the nose is great.
Oh, it's sweet.
Of course, I'm a sucker for that 95.5 any day of the week. But let's see how this goes whenever I drink it.
So for me on the nose, it's that floral, not like the floral aspect of the 95.5 with a little bit of like grapefruit in there.
Paul, what you got on the nose?
Nothing. It's too damn cold.
Yeah. I really do have nothing on the
Shit.
nose.
When it gets to when it gets cooler here, I don't even want to say cold because of what's going on. When it gets cooler here into like the 50s and 40s and I'm sitting outside, I can't smell a fucking thing.
No, I mean, my nose is in the Glencairn, and it's just, nothing's pulling off of it in this cold. So, but on the palate, I really like it.
That's where I get the chocolate chip cookie, is on that motherfucker right there, especially with that cigar.
Yeah, that cigar changes it. I just did a quick pull and went to that whiskey. That changes it.
Try that. I like it without the cigar, though.
So, for me, it almost like you get that 95.5. Obviously, it's very present, but it also has like a background notes of like, and for me, an unhopped, like one of those hazy or fruity IPAs, like grapefruit forward, that citrus forward, along with that MGP 95.5's minty and floral note to it. This was my pick. Well, not my pick, but this is the one that I was basically arguing for, that we need to pick it, and along with one or two other guys, and I'm glad we did because it's still a good one. But that's what I get. It's almost like a rye meets an unhopped IPA, a fruity IPA or hazy or whatever.
Like a hazy, yeah. No, I get that big time because I was getting, not from the cigar, but just before smoking the cigar, definitely it's grapefruit. It's weird to find that note in whiskey. But yeah, it tastes like one of those West Coast IPAs.
Yeah.
But it has like the sweet, notes that you want to find in a whiskey too.
That is good.
coming from the cigar, it gets darker.
I get a little bit of chocolate in there.
Yeah,
a lot darker. The fruitiness is still there, but it mutes it a little bit.
I do not like it without the cigar. I do not like it, but with the cigar,
you don't like IPAs, right?
Or single malts, but I do very much like it with the cigar. So there's that.
So we tried two. Well, on the label of this one that we tried, it said 95.5, and under finish it just said malted. So we went this one and the other one, I think. So we went into it thinking that it was just a 100% malted rye, or 95.5 malted rye. And as we're tasting it, I'm like, this is nothing like any malted rye I've ever tasted. And I think her name was Kimmy. She was the one doing her tasting. She texted Macaulay, and he came back, said, no, that's 95.5 finished in a malted cask. And then he finally said it was American single malt cask. And then we're like, oh, that makes a little bit more sense. Like I said, this one has more of that like grapefruit. The other one had more of like it's going to sound weird. I want to say it had like a pineapple note to it. Like that kind of fruitiness to like a tropical fruity note to it compared to the grapefruit. Both were good. But like I said, this one reminded me of an IPA, which I love a good IPA. So that's why I kind of gravitated towards this one. And yeah, with this cigar, it's a fucking damn good pairing right there.
Yeah, see, I like it better without the cigar, I think, because the fruit is more forward. Once again, just like with the bourbon, like the cigar kind of mutes that grapefruit, bready, almost get like probably wouldn't pick it out if you didn't tell me, but now that it's finished in a single malt, you kind of get that grainy, a little bit note in there on the mid palate, and that kind of goes away, and all the notes kind of get darker for me with the cigar. I like the brightness of it just by itself.
I'm right there with you, but with the cigar,
it's still great. It just changes it completely, and I think I prefer A over B. I like them both, but I think I prefer it without the cigar, to be honest.
So there's times where I like to just kind of sit out here and drink a whiskey, and then when I go to the cigar, back to the whiskey, and realize, oh, I'm drinking two whiskeys in one, basically.
Yeah, no, I mean that's kind of what it is. Yeah. That's what I said. I kind of like A over B because it is two completely different pours going from that cigar, which is nice. I mean, it's just kind of a testament to a complex whiskey. And you touched on it that this comes from Dark Arts, but we didn't really talk about them too much. Dark Arts is a blending and rebarreling and finish house, I guess, location, because they don't distill out of Lexington, Kentucky. Macaulay Minton and David Pete started it. I think they're still the two that are mainly in charge. They're putting out some great stuff. Everything I've had from Dark Arts has been absolutely fantastic. And I was just reading an article yesterday. We didn't know we were doing Dark Arts today until, a little bit before the show, but I was reading Fred Minnick's top 100, and Dark Arts Armagnac 16-year finish came in 10th on Fred's top 100 list this year. So, his list is crazy. It's George C. Stagg, Saz 18, Baumburgers, Heaven Hill 90th, all these crazy ones. And then Dark Arts, relatively new brand at number 10. So that's just kind of
Dark Arts was on there. I think Frey Ranch was on there. You had the heavy hitters, and then there's a bunch of small,
K. Luke is in the top 25.
Smaller craft distillers or blenders.
Yeah, no, it's Frey Ranch is in the top 25. There's some definite ones to check out that you can get your hands on for relatively cheap. There's the heavy hitters. $300, $200, $250 bottles. But if you like stuff from Fred's palate, which I think he's love him or hate him, he's got an incredible palate. His list is something definitely to read through and try some things you may not have heard of or want to try but didn't know what they were like. He can tell you kind of where they fall on his list for the year. But that being said, being top 10 on his list is pretty prestigious, I guess, if you are a bottler or a distiller. So that just shows that they're doing good stuff at Dark Arts. And I definitely, next time I'm in Kentucky or out Adams Way, that's a must stop for me.
Yeah, it's a cool place. They got I want to say it's two areas that you could do they do the tasting, and then they have like they have the bar top, and then they have a little common area where you can sit down. They were having a bachelorette party, I think, there when we were there. It's a cool little area. The whole spot there, at least as of now, is a cool little area. Seems like a couple of those places are moving out. I think I heard Barrel House might be moving.
Barrel House is moving to Cynthiana.
Yeah, so that was a cool spot, but you still have Pepper right there. RD1 is what 5-8 minutes away from there. Then of course you got Goodfellas Pizza there. You just don't be like Dave Portnoy and get kicked out of there.
I was gonna say don't be like y'all and wait too long and end up in the fucking line.
Or that. And then
I was straight out of James Pepper over there, and I was like the fifth in line. I looked back, there were like 20 people back.
What's the name of that ice cream shop or dessert shop right there?
Crank and Boom. That's Crank and Boom.
Wayne grabbed some ice cream, I think, after we all got, and I definitely had a bit of that, and that was damn good ice cream.
Yeah, it's a really cool story behind that whole area, Paul. I don't know if Jerry knows because he's been there, but so there's a distillery there called Barrel House, and the reason for that is because that is located in what used to be the James Pepper Distillery Barrel House. There's a little bar there called the Break Room. It's its own little building on the back side of the parking lot. It's called the Break Room because that used to be the distillery workers' break room. There's a whole it used to be an ice house, and then because it was, you know what I mean, way back when they didn't have, gigantic ice house, and so they've got there's a fireman's restaurant. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's Fireman's Thing.
That was it was a nice little like sub shop, or not sub shop, but like a sandwich shop.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Really good. They've got a little walk through there. It's not closed in, but when you walk through, you look over to your right and you see people bowling, and you can eat. I don't even know the name of the place, but you can eat and rent your own private bowling lane all the way down through there.
That's cool.
And then RD1 used to be where Dark Arts is right now, and it's all in this nice little area. James Pepper. The reason I thought about this because when you go on the James Pepper tour, they've got this closed-in glass case of all these bottles that were from Prohibition era. They're medicinal, whatever. Whenever they were redoing that whole area, they got into what is now Crank and Boom, and that's where the James Pepper safe was. When they finally got that bitch open, all these bottles from back then were stored in that safe, so you can actually see those on the tour. It's a small little tour, but it's pretty much everything you expect a distillery tour to be. It's pretty cool. And Dark Arts used to be right across from Ethereal Brewing. It's now a little Mexican spot, and it's weird. It's the same restaurant, but there's a little building here, and then the sidewalk goes through to Goodfellas and to James Pepper and to Ethereal, and then there's seating over here. But on the other side of that sidewalk, connected to that same building, is the rest of the Mexican restaurant. It's all one restaurant, but it's in two separate buildings. So it's pretty cool. It's good food too. Anyway, it's a kick-ass little area. And it's one of the cooler spots to go for whiskey and whiskey history in Lexington, Kentucky. But we got off track there, got off subject. The cigar, mine has gone out again. I cannot keep that motherfucker lit. I don't know if it's just too cold or what, but I am not going to relight it. I will say that I like it. I got about halfway through it. It's been a pain in the ass for me to keep lit. Jerry and Paul don't seem to be having any issues whatsoever. I can't keep mine lit. It went well with both of the whiskeys. Actually, I am going to relight it because we got one more whiskey to talk about. But, it went well with both of the whiskeys. It did change the flavor, and it's not a terribly full-bodied cigar. It's probably on the north side of medium, and it feels like it's well rolled. It came I didn't have to cut it or anything. It's got a hole right in the back of it already ready to roll. I am going to cut it anyways, just to be certain that that's not my issue. But at any rate, it's a nice cigar. It's not too long. You know, it's not one of those. I feel like I'm going to be sitting here smoking in 5 hours.
Oh, we got one of those coming up soon.
Yeah, I know. I know. But you know, it's great on its own. I love the little band here. It's cool looking. So, Paul, you want to tell us about it? You want to tell us what we're smoking?
Yeah, these are from Veritas Cigar Company. These are the Veritas Torch Habanos. They're made in Nicaragua. I agree that they're probably right around the medium. It's Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, Nicaraguan Ometepe and Jalapa filler. And I think I got these. I can't remember. I got them from one of the big cigar websites. I'd never heard of them before. Cool label with like a hand holding up, like a fist holding up a cigar with the backdrop of a city that I'm not sure what city that is, but it's a good cigar. I like them. They're, I want to say in the $7 to $10 range, and mine's went out on me once, but it is also freezing out here, and we've been talking. Other than that, great draw. I got a good burn line. This is my second time smoking this cigar, and I really like it. I get some spicy notes, like some red pepper off the first third, and then it kind of turns into, and I guess maybe some cedar, graham cracker, kind of bready, sweet kind of notes in the second third so far. So I like it. Like I said, I don't really prefer it with either one of these dark arts pours so far. That being said, we'll see how it goes with this last pour, but on its own, it's a great cigar for under $10.
Yeah, it's definitely a good, I don't even want to call it budget, but lower price range cigar. My first third was it seemed to be a little bit tight. It started opening up as I started getting towards the second third and halfway through it. Now it's smoking great. Started out with the first couple puffs were straight red pepper flakes to the back of the throat. That kind of died down to like a black pepper, and then died down some more as I'm getting about halfway through. It's still there, back of the throat, but it's not as present. And like Paul said, like a cedar woodsy note. But I also get a almost like I don't want to say it because it's going to sound bad, but like a burnt coffee, but in a good way, almost like an espresso style. Like it's not like burnt coffee, like it's been sitting in the pot all day and you reheat it. It's more of like almost like an espresso or something, like a ultra concentrated, almost like bitterness sort of deal. And it's, to me, it tastes great. My dumbass on that first third, when it was a little tight, I kind of was squeezing it to see if not hard, but squeezing a little bit to see if I could loosen it up, and I cracked the wrapper, but it's starting to. The line is the burn line's still there, but as you can see, there's still a little crack in there, but it's going right over it, and I don't notice anything cracking other than that little crack of my thumb. Again, that was my dumbass fault for doing it, but burn line stayed straight even with that damn crack. But yeah, it's for $10. I'm not mad at it at all. Same with Paul. I prefer these whiskeys by themselves. I prefer the cigar by itself, but if I had to pick one, it's definitely going to smoke it with the rye over the bourbon. But yeah, nothing bad about this one. And yeah, that band, it almost has like a cartoon, like Halloween backdrop, that city. At first when I looked at them, I thought they were like fucking alien spaceships or something, until I actually looked at it and realized they were hands holding cigars.
Yeah, it kind of gives me the band itself, looking at the hands holding the cigars and the city backdrop and all that stuff. It kind of gives me a V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Or a Sin City vibe.
Like a cartoon version, yeah.
Yeah. So I could definitely get where you're coming from with that. It is good on its own. I do feel like it changed the profiles of these whiskeys, and I was thankful for that with one of them, at least. But it helped me to find some notes in both of them that I enjoyed very much. That I mean, I got to say that I'm excited to try more dark art stuff, and considering I live right here in town, it should be pretty easy to make happen.
She's still a spicy bitch on that retro.
Yeah.
That pepper all is just in the back of that nasal cavity. Oh, that opened me up.
I can say about the cigar that I was able to pick it up and draw on it a couple times, and it sparked right back to life. So that's got that going for it 100%. So that's awesome. That being said, you guys ready to move on to this pours on me?
I got to pour it up.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, because I am interested to see what you guys think, and then really interested to see what you guys think after I tell you what it is.
Pouring it up now. So we got this one from Adam, and it is a question mark. So we're drinking this blind, and he has not told us anything about it other than it looks like alcohol.
Yep, you got that right. That's accurate.
All right, I'm getting somewhat of a nose on it, which is surprising because once again I'm out in the bitter cold. But who knows if it's what I should be getting because it's cold. But I'm getting like I almost want to say apple. Like
that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Definitely the apple note. There's something else in there I can't.
I get a breadiness too.
It's
like
some kind of
pastry.
like a malty pastry style bready note, but I can't actually picture. But that apple was the first thing that popped out for me.
Ooh, that is. I'm getting the apple comes through. I'm getting like star anise. There's a weird like almost like you could tell me this was finished in like an absinthe barrel, and I would believe you. I'm getting like lots of like weird licorice, like on the sides of my tongue are blowing up with these like.
I can see a little bit of that.
That's interesting.
It's definitely a fruity punch up front, and then it finishes a little bit drying. I can see a little bit of that like anise, but it's not like I'm not a big absinthe fan. I've tried at least one absinthe finished whiskey. I'm not going to name the distill. Well, it's the only thing from Peerless that I have not liked. Everything else I have enjoyed. But people love it. I'm not an absinthe fan. I'm not a black licorice fan. I'm not a star anise fan. So there's that. There is a little bit of like that licorice star anise like bitterness on the sides of the tongue.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with absinthe. I was just throwing those notes out. I think it's definitely some kind of. But I'm getting those notes from rye. I bet my paycheck that this is definitely a unique rye.
There's I'm getting a lot of like spice on the bottom side of my tongue.
I'll tell you flat out, this is a bourbon. I will tell you that right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. High rye?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the rye content. Hold on, let me
100% corn.
Let me see.
Yeah, right. We're both idiots. It's getting those rye flavors. It's liquid. Yeah, it's something. It's getting it from somewhere, whether it's the finish or if it's a high rye. It has to be, unless he's got a trick.
There's a lot of
weird, but I like this a lot. It's one of those ones where I don't like take one sip and go, oh my god, that's incredible. I keep wanting to.
There's something there.
Yeah, it's not a high rye. It's 8% rye.
No shit.
All right. Well,
it's one of those where like I'll take a sip and there's something on like the backside of it
Mhm.
And as I go for the second one to try to figure it out, I notice there's something on the front of my tongue. So I go for it again, and it's just.
So up front, yeah, there's tons of caramel. It's like caramel apple up front for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like fruity, super sweet caramel, like comes through big time. But that finish is super drying. It's got, like I said, it's got rye flavors. It's got that minty licorice star anise. I'm getting that all over the sides of my tongue. But there's like a drying effect where it kind of goes away quick, and that's why I keep wanting to drink it. Like I could be in this chair and not be able to stand up if this bottle was in front of me, because I keep finding new notes, and it's very interesting pour.
Yeah, that caramel for me is more of like a vanilla glaze style on top of the apple. But even though it's drying and it goes away quick, that fruity apple note stays through it the whole time.
It's like on the tip of my tongue, that very fruity, like stone fruit, definitely leaning towards apple. But
I don't know. I think one of the best things about it is it's hitting parts of my palate that doesn't typically get hit with the whiskey. Like I said, under the tongue, like it's like the sides and almost like getting underneath it. Obviously, the tip of the tongue gets it with certain whiskeys, depending if it's sweet or spicy or whatever. But it's just lingering there.
Yeah, the sides of my tongue I get tons of flavor, and normally I get leather and tannic flavors on the sides of my tongue, but I'm not getting that. I'm getting more of these predominantly rye.
Is it finished at all?
Flavors.
No.
So this is just a bourbon that's not finished.
Correct.
Wow. All right, yeah, this needs to go in like some, this was a perfect blind to send us, because
there's a reason that you guys are getting the notes that you're getting, and I've had another bourbon that was made in this style, and so that's how I can say definitively that the reason that you're getting some of the notes that you're getting is because of how it's made. I haven't told you anything. I actually have. I gave you one little hint about this particular whiskey back when I told you I was going to send it, and I know you don't remember.
That's many whiskeys ago.
Yeah, that's
most likely.
But what I told you is also the reason that I'm definitively saying that that's the reason that you're getting some of those notes that you're getting. So I'll have to send you a sample of the other one, so you can try them against each other and see what you think. But y'all continue. I'll tell you guys here in a little bit what it is.
Yeah, like I said, this is an incredible pour to send as a blind, because it does not taste like
the proof is throwing me off too. One sip, I think it's one thing. The next sip, I'm like, that's too hot to be what I was thinking.
You haven't told us the proof yet, have you?
Mm-mm. Proof is 103.8.
Yeah, I don't think I would have went that far. I would have, as you were saying that, I was trying to think in my head, and I was going to blurt out like 94, something in that realm. So I think it drinks a little lighter, but then there is a little.
That's what I was saying. Is one sip I'm thinking like 110, the next one I'm thinking like 90.
Mm-hmm. So this has become, and I'm not drinking. It wasn't very expensive. It was like $80, something like that. And I'm not drinking through it real fast because there's not a whole lot of it. But it's become one of my favorites from this distillery.
Is it a big distillery?
No, it's not.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is
no
so unique that it's got to be.
It has a little. I was going to say it has like that crafty vibe to it.
Yeah. I get a little bit of that. It's just now that I know that it's not, it's something unique. It's a unique bourbon that I'm getting non-bourbon notes off of. It's got it. That's what it has to be, something unique from probably a craft style distillery.
Yeah, apple cinnamon or baking spices, that vanilla glaze or caramel glaze, whatever.
It's damn good. I really, really, really like this.
Indeed.
The only thing I don't like is the finish, because I keep going back.
That's
It's not saying that it's a bad finish. It's just it's not like it
back for
falls.
more.
It doesn't fall out. It sits and lingers, but it definitely dies down a little bit. But then
Sure.
you want to go back, like we were saying, you keep finding other things in there that you want to see, which is why I only poured a half ounce for now.
yeah. No, I want to go from the cigar to it, but my cigar went out again because
Mine just
Whiskey
went out for the first time.
yeah, this whiskey's got me enthralled, and I keep just neglecting the cigar because I can't put the glass down. So
Yeah, that's the only thing that I don't like about it is that it's not the most readily available thing that they produce. So you guys go ahead and try it with your cigars.
mm-hmm.
Tell me what you think, and then I'll tell you what this is.
It's different with the cigar.
Let's play a little game. And nobody dies at the end of this game. I'm over here sounding like fucking Jigsaw. Nobody's going to die at the end of this game. But I'll give you. So after you've had sufficient time to finish what you got in your glasses there, try it with the cigar and all this, I'll give you 3 guesses. Not the distillery. The distillery is not what you can guess. What you can guess is what whiskey you think it might be. Don't try guessing about, like, don't say, oh, it's Jim Beam. That's not gonna work. Got to be specific whiskeys, and I'll tell you yes or no, just to see if you can get anywhere close. Because close is an option in this game, and in a minute you'll see why. So let's do that.
All right. I don't like it with the cigar as much. I should say it's another A/B thing where it's good with the cigar, but it's not as good as by itself. I don't know if that's just this cigar for me, which I really like this cigar the last time I smoked it and now, but with all 3 of these whiskeys tonight, for me, my palate today, I like these whiskeys by themselves.
Yeah.
It takes away the apple note for me up front, and it takes away all those weird, I keep saying rye notes, but it takes away all that and turns them more into, I keep wanting to say like a dark chocolate or like a coffee, but it darkens everything. This cigar just darkens all the notes, and I like the brightness of the notes I'm getting from all 3 of these, honestly, because they all kind of have a fruity note, and they all kind of have this spicy, weird thing also. So, yeah, for me, I'm digging the pour by itself. So
I mean, the cigar's good. Let's not.
The cigar's great. I like this cigar, and I loved it last time because I bought a 5-pack, and that's what I was going to say before, which I didn't get to throw out. I think I got these on Famous Cigar now that I remember, and like I said, they were like $7 to $10 cigars, but I want to say I paid like $20 or $24 for a 5-pack.
Famous always has deals and stuff going on. I was trying to look up this cigar before we started, and I think it was on Cigar Vault Oakdale, I think. And
I might have got it from them.
Singles were 10, and then if you do a 5 or 10 pack, obviously it's a little bit cheaper.
So
which
I think I paid like $25.
Honestly, this for, and this isn't a bad thing for me. This is a sit around a bonfire cigar. Like, it's a good, and it's not one that I'm going to smoke half it, throw it in the fire. This is going to be the one to start the night around the fire. I'm going to finish it.
Sure.
I'm going to drink something with it. I might not continue drinking, but it's a good one. It's not going to blow out your palate. I don't
but
have
it's more of an indictment of the cigar itself to say that it brought down all 3 of the whiskeys. But that's not really saying too much, because the cigar is great.
For me, going from the cigar to this blind one, it almost gives this whiskey a cola spice, like those baking spices, that cinnamon, that whatever I was getting with it, almost turned into like a off-brand cola note for me. Like Paul said, it darkened it up. It darkened it to like more of like a molasses cola style. It's good. Definitely took that crafty note out of it, which I like. Obviously, I talk about craft whiskeys all the time. I was drinking
Chattanooga.
I almost pulled Chattanooga out, but I saw this sample sitting there, and I was like, let me grab this. But the Shady Knoll, and a lot of those, all the tasting that me and Paul do, with that guy, it's all craft, smaller distilleries. I'm a big fan of those. So I don't mind like that crafty note. Definitely takes it away, brings that more like dark cola taste to it. It's good. Again, it's one of those that it completely changes the whiskey. You get like 2 whiskeys in one glass, just like the dark Ar's rye.
Okay. So let's start with the guesses, and I'm going to amend it a little bit. I'm going to give you one guess after the 3 guesses. I'm going to give you one each. What distillery you think it could be from? So let's go there. And it doesn't have to be Kentucky. You know, their shipping is a real thing now. So I don't know, Jerry, guess first.
Am I just going to try to guess like where it's from?
Nope. You're going to guess. Each going to guess 3 times what whiskey you think it is or is like. Because again, like is a very, very in no other instance can I think of a time when like is a very real option. And in a minute you'll understand why I say that.
Let's see. I don't think it's Kentucky. Don't think it's Tennessee. Don't think it's Texas. Some of the better pours in Florida has a similar profile. I don't think it's Florida though, because I've tried many of Florida pours and there's not many good ones. I hate to say there are some good ones, but they're not many. Shit. I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, so you said that this is only 8% rye.
Are you looking up mash bills? That's cheating.
No, I'm not. I was actually looking up who scored the last touchdown because I missed who the Rams. Kyron Williams got the last touchdown. I just saw the score and I was like, "Who the fuck scored?" No,
yeah, 8% rye, but it could be 92% corn. It could.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not 92% corn in my book, so that means there's going to be a bigger, secondary grain presence. I don't think it's wheat, so that makes me think that it's something weird.
Is it like a triticale, like hybrid?
Now, I mean, I'm not giving you any more hints than what I already did. So,
yeah. So, to me, I don't think it's a bourbon, so it's 50% corn. I don't think it's like over 80% corn, to be honest. I think there's a secondary grain in there that's giving these weird notes that we're getting. If it's only 8% rye, I don't think that grain is wheat. So I think it's going to be an interesting mash bill, which lends itself to being, like a smaller craft distillery that's playing with some grains. It could be. I don't get the vibe that it's barley either.
It's not oat.
No. There's that. I always get that creamy mouthfeel from oat.
Yeah, the finish on oats is insane.
And I always get the. Bubble gum, like pink bubble gum note off of wheat, and I don't get that. So, I'm trying to think what
this would be.
So you said this is not finished in anything.
It is not.
And you said what, 103 for the proof, give or take?
Yeah, 103 and some change.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say it's probably. I'm gonna say. I think 70% corn would be high. I'm thinking more like 60, 65, some weird hybrid, and in that, which I don't. Other than triticale, I don't like, because it does have like that rye aspect to it. I don't know what else. There's so much shit out there, but I don't even know. I don't know. Isn't there that one distillery in like Connecticut or somewhere up there that has like triticale as their? Is it from up there?
Somewhere, but I don't even know what that is.
So no, that's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not there at least. So yeah.
Nah, I'm stumped. I'm very curious as to what what that secondary grain is, because I think that's the key. I think it's a weird secondary grain. It could be way off, but I think that weird secondary. Don't want to say weird. I just say different secondary grain.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm thinking.
And I want to say it's a little bit younger than, like, it's not in a bad way.
I'd say 2 to 4. Yeah, I'd say it's got a little bit of age on it, but I don't think he's going to come out and say this is a 13-year whiskey or something like that.
No, to me it has like similar notes to the Fire and Flask. Like, it's not like, you could tell it's not old, but it's not. Well, Fire and Flask was a year old. That's young for whiskey, but I definitely think it's older than that. But yeah, I'd say like 2 to 3. I gotta pour some more up, damn it.
Yeah, pour some more up.
I'm gonna save an ounce so I could drink this later on without the cigar and fresh palate. That's good enough.
Really good shit. I will say that. Like I said, it's become my favorite from the.
I keep going back to that nose.
It's great, right?
And how much is this bottle? You said?
I think I paid $85.
Okay. Did you happen to get this on your trip up north?
I did not. I did.
That's
not.
what I was thinking.
I was kind of thinking like a New England kind of distillery.
Nope. Unfortunately, I didn't hit any distilleries while I was up there. I intended to, and Sam Adams Brewery, but it didn't work out. So.
All right, my curiosity is going crazy. What do we got here, Adam? I'm gonna guess. I don't think it's I would say it's not one of the big whiskey producing states. So I'm going to take out, Tennessee, Kentucky, Colorado, New York, Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia. I'm going to take those out. And I think it's from somewhere different, off the beaten path, kind of.
I'm going to take Ohio out of there too.
I'm ashamed of you that you said Tennessee before Kentucky. We're no longer friends, Paul.
Other than that, I think it's, like I said, I think it's barely, I don't want to say barely, I want to say, 60-ish% corn.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably a 4 grain. And I think
that's
the
what I was
secondary grain is probably something that's giving us these notes, because it's not finished. And I'm very curious to see what it is now.
Okay. Well,
I could see 4 grain with the last one being a low barley percentage.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Thinking there's probably like 6% malted barley or something, 8% rye, and like 20% something different that's giving us these weird, for me, the weird rye notes that are coming from, that can't be coming from just the 8% rye.
Okay. Well, you guys were wrong on almost every count.
Of course we are.
That's what I expect.
So, you guys don't look this up because it will tell you what it is. We're getting there, so don't look it up. The mash bill, 87% corn, 8% rye, and 5% malted barley. So the only thing you were even close with was the amount of barley that was in this motherfucker. So from the back of the label, reading from the back of the label. With the heirloom collection, we proudly pay homage to our roots, traditions, and to those who serve to protect our country, our freedom. Sourced from a family farm in Virginia, the heirloom corn varieties.
I think I know what it is.
To our mash bill and leave notes that come through nicely to our craft pot stilled single barrels. So, Jerry, what do you think it is?
Is it a celebrity?
No.
Then never mind.
I was thinking the same one, but that proof I think is only like 90 something. I know what you're thinking.
So now,
from a famous comedian.
The next, it is not Tears of the Left.
That's what I was thinking when you started.
I have not cracked that bottle yet. It's still sealed. But before I taste it, you guys will have samples in the hand, and we'll try it together. This next thing that I'm going to say is the name of an individual that could be considered somewhat of a celebrity within the whiskey community. Old Cranky Dave released his talons a little on this one, giving Tom some freedom to discover, spawning the collection. This is OCD's Crimson Crow. It says Crimson Crow is the 4th variant of our signature bourbon, OCD number 5. So this is the same mash bill as OCD number 5, but the corn was replaced with Bloody Butcher, which is where you're getting all those funky notes from. And I say that knowingly because I have another bottle upstairs of Bloody Butcher bourbon from a different distillery, which I have to get to you guys because it's fantastic. It was a total wine pick from that particular distillery that my wife grabbed while she was at Total Wine one day. She brought it home and I was blown away, just floored. And love or hate Total Wine, they make some good fucking. They pick some good stuff. Crimson Crow is 4th variant of our signature bourbon, OCD number 5. For this one, Tom simply swapped out our yellow corn for Bloody Butcher red corn, adding a fury of flavor. We age it carefully and urge you to enjoy it responsibly. It is aged for at least 43 months. So it does meet the requirements to be a straight bourbon. It is made with Bloody Butcher corn, coming in at 103.8 proof. The transparency on it is incredible. It's got the bottle number, the barrel number, proof, the alcohol percentage, of course. It's got a really cool, almost holographic.
Oh yeah.
Actually more like the chromium cards that are, baseball cards and comic cards and things of that nature from the 90s when everything was being printed in chromium. They have two others, the Hickory King White and the Hopi Blue. And there's actually a pretty cool story behind this. When I went with our buddy Wayne. So I don't know how long it's been now, but a while back, Wayne was kind enough to treat me to some distillery tours in Louisville. And to pay him back, I bought tickets to this for he and I, and we went. And I may or may not have had some gifts for Cranky Dave. Now, this was the second time I've done this tour. It was the grounds tour. And the grounds tour, they take you into the now derelict Old Crow distillery that's there on the grounds at Glens Creek. You get to go inside and see the old boilers. You can see the flood lines inside that building where it's flooded several times. One time it flooded right at the height of the boilers, and the boilers are taller than me, which I'm 5'7". I'm not a tall guy, but for fucking coal boilers, that's pretty fucking massive. And there are, I don't even remember, 4, 6, something like that inside. And then there's one down at the very end, which is, it did the work of all of the others. But you can see the flood lines from where it's flooded in that area several times. Dave's got his hands full. They take you into the spring that they used at the Old Crow Distillery that's still in use today. They take you around the back and show you the vats where they cultured the yeast from the Old Crow Distillery that they still use in production of OCD number 5 and in production of this Crimson Crow. Now, the reason I said that this is a very real possibility for it to be like another whiskey is the reason is because this is Old Crow with a different style of corn. That Bloody Butcher corn gives you a brighter, richer, more viscous flavor. I don't really know another way to put it. The oils in it are just that much thicker that it's got a pretty high sugar content, I think, and it's just fantastic. And so anything that I've ever had with Bloody Butcher, anytime I ever have a chance to drink some with Bloody Butcher in it, it's fantastic. But I went on this tour. Like I said, I took some gifts for Dave, and so we sat after the tour was over and the tasting was over. We sat behind with Dave, and we were drinking, and then we were drinking some Glens Creek products, and he brought out another bottle to let us try it, and then he brought out this one to let us try it, and we bought this. Both of us bought one. It is a distillery-only product, and I could be wrong, but I think it's only released at a certain time, and he just happened to have some bottles still sitting around that he was kind enough to let us purchase. So like I said, it's not readily available. It is fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that I bought this bottle. It's great. It's a special whiskey. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, and I my head wasn't even going to yeast, but I got to believe that their wild caught yeast that they get at that, historic distillery has to play a part in some of the spicy notes and stuff that we were getting, because it doesn't. I don't think I'm getting those rye spicy notes from just the Bloody Butcher alone. I think it's the whole process that they got going on there, and
that's not wild caught yeast. That's yeast that Dr. Crow himself used.
Right, not wild caught, wild harvested or whatever they did, where they went.
Yeah, they harvested it from the fermentation vats.
Right. Yeah. So using the old yeast, and that has to play. I mean, I've had I think OCD number 5. I think I remember was blew me away. I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. When I had that one, I've had some other things from them before, and everything I've had has been great. And this is incredible for being, under 4 years old, not finished. Just Bloody Butcher is kind of a different grain, but not really. I mean, I've had a bunch of different distilleries with Bloody Butcher corn, and I don't think anyone has impressed me like this one has. So, I mean, hats off to them. I mean, I like everything they're doing, and I really like the attitude of their distillery too. Kind of the fuck you spirit that they have, which I find to be refreshing. So,
well, you got to meet Dave, because he is a different sort of so they put something up on Facebook not too long ago. I can't remember what it was that I responded to, but what I said was, I think it was somebody had posted a bad review. That's what it was. They were complaining about Dave's attitude and all this stuff, and I was just like, you know what? I like it. I like to bring him gifts, and I like that he is willing to, hang out with folks that do that, and just sit around and shoot the shit, whatever. And I was like, he suffers no fools. That's the exact wording. He doesn't. He's an engineer. He's very much got that, not antisocial, but just, he's very comfortable with who he is. And he's very comfortable just being himself. And he'll sit and talk to you and shoot the shit with you and teach you some things. Quite frankly, he'll teach you anything that he has within his knowledge to teach you. But you can tell that he's not ready to put up with some bullshit. And I appreciate that, because though I am not as intelligent as Dave, I am also not ready to put up with some bullshit. So I feel it's a bit of a kindred spirit type situation with him. He's a really cool dude. And he's very, very bright. You can tell just sitting and talking to him that he's a brilliant individual. And I'm glad that he has turned his attention away. He hasn't necessarily turned it away from engineering. He's still doing some engineering stuff there in his distillery, but he's not an engineer anymore. Now he's a distiller. And I'm glad that he has done that, because though I didn't like OCD number 5 the first time that I tried it, I actually gave the bottle away. There's been several bottles since that I actually liked a lot. I liked Stave and Barrel a lot. Holy shit. The Ryeski that they make, the rye whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Shit. Holy shit, that's good. The Cuerpito Vivo, as they used to call it. They were sent a cease and desist letter from Jose Cuervo,
which is hilarious. Google that if you haven't heard that story.
Yeah, that shit's really good. They've got a rum that they make. I can't remember what it's called, but it's fantastic. Everything they make is incredible, and their distillery is it's very gritty. It's very down to earth. It's very, it's not shiny. It's not, it is what it is. And the fact that he can do what he's doing with what he's got is incredible. He had a little Amazon still in there when Jerry and I were there that he was doing experiments with, and then he's got big stills, back down the way there that he made himself. They're not big, bright, shiny copper monsters from Vendome like all these other places have. They're stills that he made out of what he had, and the fact that he can turn out the spirits that he does with what he's got is nothing short of amazing.
Isn't one of his stills like a beer keg still?
He had a beer keg still. That was his. So when let's see, I've only been there with you once. He had a beer keg still that I can't remember what he's. I think he was using that for his spirit run. That's what maybe as a doubler at one point, but no. He had that beer keg still back against the wall, didn't he? Next to his big still.
It was just a normal keg, and then it went into one of those like quarter, those thin quarter kegs or whatever they're called.
Yep.
I'm guessing it's like his doubler or thumper. I don't remember what he. Actually, I think he was running the what was he running off it? Did he do something with like blue corn?
Yep. That's the Hopi corn. That's the Hopi corn for the heirloom collection.
I think that's what he was running off it.
Yeah. And then it's great. It's great. Paul, you would love it. It's not like any distillery the only other distillery that I've ever been to that was even remotely like it was Bluegrass Distillers. They were small, but they had a more professionally made still that they didn't make themselves, and it was an onion still and whatever.
This
anyway,
like sitting in someone's garage with some random still parts that he put together, and
yeah, it's great. It's a great operation, great products. Like I said, the OCD 5 Premium is one of the tastiest craft whiskeys I've ever had in my life. But this, hands down, takes the cake as far as craft whiskeys go. This Crimson Crow is just absolutely incredible, and the label is really cool. Aside from the lettering, it's got a negative image of a crow on there. You guys can see it better in the camera than I can see it with my naked eye.
Yeah,
it's just really good stuff. I wish I'd bought 2 bottles.
Yeah, no, that was great.
that was a good one.
All right, my final guess is a 3 to 4 year old high corn whiskey from Kentucky. Locking it in now.
Possibly with some red corn
on DraftKings.
Yeah, locking it in.
The other good time. I mean, it butts up against Paul. There's something there that you'd really like to see. It's a Jim Beam rick house, and it's one of the biggest rick houses. Like it's fucking massive. I mean, I don't even remember how many barrels it holds, but I want to say it was the size of a football field. Is that right, Jerry? That sound right?
Something like that, yeah.
It's massive. It's right next to the property. Old Crow is owned by Jim Beam, of course, and I wish they had honestly done something with that distillery, but it would have been so expensive to go back and do something with the derelict Old Crow distillery. That is, I wish they'd at least fixed it up, but that property would have cost him a whole lot more money if they had. Anyway,
that's my bourbon wish, is that Old Crow is brought back to its glory. That is, if I had to wish for one thing in the whiskey land, is that we have a premium bottle of Old Crow released at hopefully Jim Beam, but anybody at this point, buy the rights from Jim Beam. Who cares? Somebody bring back. I want to taste Dusty, recreate it. I want a 69 Chessman in a new bottle for $200, and I'll buy a case.
My only wish is that I could try some. I've never been able to get my hands on some. I mean, I've had the opportunity, but it was just so fucking expensive. There was no way it was going to happen.
I've tried the 69 Chessman twice. I think a Queen, and I can't remember the other one, which doesn't matter what the decanter was. Yeah. Whiskey's still the same, but yeah, I mean, I want to try it in a blind because I mean, you can tell it's a dusty. I mean, if you're drinking enough whiskey, you can pick out those weird, funky, dusty notes that you get, but it's hard to say how. Everybody says, "Oh, that could be the best whiskey ever," but you're also drinking it knowing that this is so unique and rare and like storied and that kind of thing. So your mind, it's like somebody handing you a bottle of Pappy at 23 and saying, "Take a swig off this," and you drink it and you're like, "Oh my god, it's so great!" And they're like, "Yeah, we poured Maker's Mark in there. It's not really Pappy; it was an empty Pappy bottle. We poured Maker's Mark in." And so you're tricking yourself. But I'd love to be able to taste some of these old whiskeys that are thought to be some of the best ever produced in a blind, but they're just so rare and hard to come by that you're probably never going to do it. But I have to say, the 2 times that I have had that chessman, it's got to be the best I think that I've ever tried. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff being put out now, but there's something just so unique with those dusty profiles. And yeah, just come on, bring back Old Crow somehow, or anybody just fucking use science. I don't care. Rapid age it, do whatever the fuck you have to do. Put in glycerin, put in glycol. I don't give a fuck. Do what you got to do to recreate dusty flavored whiskey. I don't care if it's natural. I don't care if you make it in a lab. I don't give a shit. Just put that in a bottle and sell it to me, please. Here's my credit card.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The laws are the laws, right? So they couldn't, if they did something like that, they couldn't label it as, Old Crow bourbon. So are you still going to buy it?
You can label it fucking orange juice, but just tell me that you're mimicking the flavor of this, and you can label it anything you want, and I will still buy it. And if you got the flavor down right, then I will buy it every day. I don't care. I'm not a purist. I don't give a shit.
I saw some of the chessman piece, actually the whole set, for an outrageous amount of money at a store here in town. Now they're not full, they're completely empty.
Well, the reason they're expensive is because people will buy them and refill them and fucking fake this tax stamp and sell them. Because I would definitely have a whole set as like a display piece, empty, because they're cool as shit looking. Like I have several, empty decanters that I've bought at antique shops and stuff like that are just cool. Which another thing, somebody bring back decanters. I think.
Yeah, let's definitely do that for sure.
Let's leave the lead out this time, but maybe the lead played a part in that taste. Who knows?
Maybe.
If you got to throw some lead in, I'll sign a waiver. I'm fine with that. If that's what it takes, I'm fine with that too. But I think bringing back these gaudy, and I use gaudy in a very endearing way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Bring back some of these gaudy decanters. They're fucking awesome. They were awesome. They were so cool. Some of them were just so over the top and unpractical that they were just even cooler.
That was one of the best part of the Jim Beam tour is all the decanters that you get to see take you through. But my dad actually has some, right? My grandfather used to work it was Seagram's at one time. It's now MGP. So my grandfather had all these from when he worked there, and my dad has them now. And I pulled them down off a shelf, and I was looking at them. And my sister had one in her hand, and it was a fucking Stagecoach. It's a Jim Beam decanter, Stagecoach.
I have that one.
And she just went bloop, like that, and the cork went straight down into it. And I was like, "What'd you do?" So bloop, and it still had some whiskey in it. It probably doesn't have any in it now, but she poked that cork right down in there.
You've had that because I sent you guys samples of that.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
One that I found that was full. One of the few that I found and was able to purchase that were full, and it was like 100-month aged Jim Beam, and it was a Stagecoach one. I only got the Stagecoach because the whole full decanter set had something. I forget if it was a horse or a buggy or something was pulling the Stagecoach, and that was the whole set. I was only able to find the actual Stagecoach, but it was full and fantastic. So fun.
This one, it was all one piece, the horse and the Stagecoach.
Mine was 2 pieces. It had like I don't know what you call the tackle or whatever, the shackles and all. They kind of moved back and forth on the Stagecoach, and it obviously had something that was meant to pull it. No. But I don't have that. But I have like
a ceramic. The whole fucking thing was one fucking piece. That's fucking dope as shit. If you had both of them, that'd be awesome. You could probably find the other one. But yeah, let's bring back decanters. Let's do the
wild turkey ones were fantastic. There's just random turkeys.
You and I talk about it a lot, Paul, where, we wish that we could go back to like a 40s and 50s. We're people leave their house wearing suits and dresses, and the men wearing hats, and you know, everybody looks like they give a shit instead of leaving our house in fucking sweatpants and all this bullshit. Yeah. We talk about that a lot. Let's, you know, I have often thought about opening up a club here in town where, you know, the music is big bands, and I've got, you know, men and women popping up out of fucking giant seashells, and you know, they've got the women having the big fans on their hats, and the guys are wearing pinstripe suits, and they're crooning instead of, you know, I'm a big metal fan, but I'm not trying to have any metal bands in there, you know. And then there's a dress code. You got to be wearing a suit and a dress before you walk through the fucking, you know, that kind of thing.
I'd pay a premium cover to go to a place like that instead of going to
exactly.
You know, the random bar where you want to have a nice night out, and there's, you know, a bunch of, you know, tubbies wearing Cookie Monster PJ pants and dudes wearing jerseys and things like that. Like, I mean, in the right setting, that's fine. Go to a sports bar or something. But if you go try to have a nice meal out at a nice, you know, restaurant bar, and you know, you want to be upscale, you go kind of upscale, and you're looking around and you're like, you're not upscale. It's the same thing. We're old men, and we bitch about this too. Like getting on a plane, when people wear fucking sandals and PJs on a plane, I just want to throw them out the goddamn window at 40,000 feet. Like, I want to bring back, you know, you're out in public, fucking respect yourself and dress, you know, appropriately, and get on the, you know, go out in public appropriately. That drives me crazy. Even when I go to the supermarket, when I see some dude wearing sandals and sweatpants, and it's like, you know, you're not in your living room, right? Like, you're just going to the supermarket, but for fuck's sake, take a little pride in what you look like. You know, you're interacting with others.
Unless men are at the beach or the pool, they should not be wearing. Their toes shouldn't be exposed. But
100% a rule I agree with. 100% rule I agree.
I will disagree with that one.
You're from Florida, so you got a different mentality. But for me, I don't. Yeah, there's no time I should ever see another man's toes unless we are swimming.
Yeah. But at any rate, let's go back to, you know, that's the decanters and shit. I mean, hell, cologne used to come in decanters back then, you know, weirdly shaped, you know, locomotives and fucking faces and all this, you know, top hats and whatever the fuck. Let's go back to some of that creative packaging that they used to have back in the day. That'd be awesome.
Even the Crocs I love a lot too. Not the fucking horrible shoe wear that, you know, the same gentleman that we were just talking about wear these days, Adam being one of them. No, I don't hate on the Crocs as much as I do open toe one string sandals, but I'm talking about the Croc, like whiskey moonshine Croc jugs. I love that style, that look, like that ceramic Croc with the big huge cork. Like I collect the Henry McKenna ones. I have probably 8 or 9 of them, from 375s up. Even I have a mini, and I have one big one set. You know, I don't even know if it's a 175, but it's much more than a 750 jug. Just because that brand has, you know, I like that brand, and my daughter is named, you know, namesake of that brand. And I have a ton of those empty. I haven't found one full yet, unfortunately, but I love that. And they're just these like off-white earthenware style Crocs with the one hoop handle. Yep, exactly, just like that. Yep. It's like an old moonshine jug. And the big ones that I can find, they have these, like, I mean, it's like a barrel. It's like a 50-gallon barrel cork that's in the top of these, like, huge mouth. They're so cool looking. Like, if, you know, put that back on the shelf. Like, you know, everybody's paying all this money for marketing and labels. Put it, you know, the labels are great. All that
my attention for sure. Henry McKenna in a fucking Croc, hell yes.
Fuck yeah. I mean, Henry McKenna's down the 10 years down to reasonable prices again, down to $55 to $65 everywhere I can get it, which I've been buying it again because of that. But I'll pay double that if you put it in an old Croc. You know, it's going to taste the same, but hey, I'm a sucker for marketing. You know, put it in a big Croc and I'll buy it. That's, you know, somebody needs to bring that shit back.
Speaking of Crocs, have you guys seen the new collab with the Croc shoes that are coming out soon, if they're not out already?
Of course not.
Lego Crocs.
I'm good.
The front of it, instead of having like the holes, has like
I did see that shit today on Facebook. Actually, I think it looks like the whole fuck. The whole front of it looks like a brick.
Looks like a brick.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's like the shoe goes like this, and then the brick of the Lego goes.
So,
now if the bottom of it is the underside of a brick, and you could walk up to somebody and step on their shoe and connect it and then steal their shoe, I'll do it.
No, absolutely not. No, actually, what I saw must have been wrong. So here's the. Hold on a second. Let me share my screen here real quick. There we go.
Yeah.
I think not.
Yeah.
If the underside is like a normal brick, and you could step on somebody's shoe and steal their shoe. That's all I would do.
Those are interesting, comical, but yeah, if I'm standing in the airport next to somebody wearing those and Big Bird PJ pants, I'm gonna have
that's
the
new.
Bite my tongue.
That's the new version of the big red boots from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. Like, I hope it doesn't take off like those things did. But I was scrolling through Facebook or Instagram the other day and saw those, and I was laughing.
Those are funny. Well, anyway, guys, we're watching the games right now, and it's looking like our Super Bowl episode is going to be New England, Seattle, which is interesting.
It does look that way.
If I was a betting man, which I'm totally against gambling. I've never gambled in my entire life, never will.
New England.
I was betting on New England Rams, honestly. So Seattle, who I've said through most of the year is probably the best team in the NFL. I just didn't think they'd get it done against the Rams. I thought the Rams had a little magic to them, and they were going to somehow pull it out. It does not look like that's going to happen at this point. We're recording just at the beginning of the third quarter, and just an absolute buffoonery play by the punt returner to just gift Seattle a touchdown. It looks like they might run away with this, and so we're going to get a Sam Darnold, Drake May Super Bowl if this ages well, unless Stafford's got something to say about that in the next 20 minutes or so of this game. But we'll definitely do something fun for the Super Bowl like we've done in the past, where we'll pit up some whiskeys from the state or from the quarterback's home state or college or something, and try to make our prediction based.
Let's say pours, because we may not be able to.
That's true. Yep, do some special pours that represent the team in some way, shape, or form, and that will, as always, predict the winner. So if you do gamble, which I don't recommend, listen to our show, and we'll reveal the winner prior to the Super Bowl based on the tastiness of that pour. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good one either way. There's no clear-cut winner this year for me. No. I think all four teams that were in it, even with Bo Nix being out and Jarrett Stidham being the quarterback, I think Jarrett Stidham is the best backup quarterback in the NFL. And there's one or two others that I could say that about too, that I think Jarrett Stidham's the top 25 quarterback in the NFL, regardless if he's a backup or a starter. And I think there's about
Jameis Winston. Best backup quarterback.
Well, James my favorite quarterbacks of all time, and
there are at least 20 teams.
Not because of his actual performance, just because of
his personality.
Just because of who he is as a person.
His performance is enough to support that his personality supports his performance, and I would love him to be the Carolina Panthers quarterback for the next 5 years.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine him with? What's his name? I had it and I forgot. He has probably the most country accent of any black man I have ever heard speak.
You're talking about the guy in Carolina, Xavier Legette?
Yeah, Xavier Legette. Could you imagine those two as a pair? It would be.
The marketing team would have like a New Year's celebration essentially.
It would be hilarious.
Jameis Winston, to have those two together doing social media posts for the Panthers with those two fools, because
I would like to be friends with Jameis Winston just because of his personality, just the person that he seems to be. He just seems to be the
most positive person on the planet.
Just a happy, positive person, just all the time. Just everything is great as far as he's concerned, and I'm typically not that way. And generally people like that get on my nerves, but there's something about him and the way that he is positive that is just
You know, the charisma with him just is off the charts. Yeah, he's fantastic. I love that he's doing a little bit in the booth and stuff right now, and I just hope he replaces. There's a handful of people. One of them announced the game that we watched earlier today that could be easily replaced by Jameis Winston or somebody like that.
Xavier Legette is very much the same as far as his personality goes, from what I gather.
I don't think he's going to get behind the booth though and announce games.
No, absolutely not. But
small portion of South Carolina that can understand him, and that's about it.
But back to Jared Stidham, there are at least 20 teams that he would start on.
I think at least 10. I mean, 20. Yeah, he's competing with at least 20. There's a couple like that. I mean, I think Malik Willis in Green Bay, Tanner McKee in Philadelphia. There's some backups out there that are just hidden gems on these NFL teams, and they're good franchises that are protecting these guys because they know what they have in a backup. But it sucks for these guys because they're, you know, in the background, unfortunately, because these teams like kind of hold them close to their chest and they don't get to go out and be that starter. But I don't know. There's definitely at least 10 teams in the NFL that are starting guys that would be a third string on a lot of teams in the NFL because there's some of these backups like Stidham, like Willis, like I think Tanner McKee might be the best one of them all, that are just, you know, sitting in the background, and one day we're probably going to be talking about them. But it would have been nice to see Stidham, you know, do something. I despise, we were talking before, Sean Payton is one of the worst humans on the earth, and I hate him and everything that he's ever done. So I was glad to see the Broncos lose, but I was kind of cheering for Stidham to have a comeback there at the end, just because it would have been a cool story to see, you know, a guy who's been drafted behind Brady, been passed around, and every time like somebody leaves, like they go and trade for him. Like the coaches want to bring him. Like I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was McVay first, like traded for him. Because like every coach that's coached him as a backup, they're like, oh, when I go to another team, I got to bring this dude because he's a hidden gem. And so he's been passed around the NFL as a backup as like a little secret gem. I was kind of hoping maybe he'd get a Super Bowl run, but at this point it's looking like it's going to be Drake May or Sam Darnold. And I like Darnold. He was in Carolina. I wish we would have kept him. I thought he had a little bit more to prove, and obviously he's shown the world that now. But Seattle, I can't stand Seattle, so I'm going to be cheering for the Patriots, kind of unfortunately, if this is how it works out. But that being said, Matt Stafford's still alive. Like I said, we're just got a Devontae Adams touchdown, so you guys are going to hear this well after the outcome is known to everyone. But we're kind of watching it live, and I'm rooting for the Rams and New England, so we'll see.
Well, guys, I think that brings us to the end of another episode of Bourbon, Beards, and Belvederes. As always, make sure to check out these products. You can find Dark Arts at darkartswhiskey.com. That's whiskey with an E. You can find these cigars at a lot of different places. I find them at Luxury Cigar Club. I know they're on JR Cigars. We haven't talked about them in a long time. Jerry and Paul found them at a couple other places. They're definitely out there on Instagram at Veritas Cigars. And then This Pours on Me this week was from Glenn's Creek Distillery. That's Glenn with two N's, Glenns, creekdistillery.com. Definitely make sure to check those guys out, show them some love, pick up their products in your local liquor store. As always, we encourage you to support your local veterans, active duty military members, first responders, LEOs, firemen. Let's be sure to support those that give all for us, and support children in your area, children that are known to you, children in your community. Let's watch out for those that are the most vulnerable, because the world's fucking crazy and it's only getting crazier. As always, enjoy your spirits and your cigars responsibly. And until next week, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Bourbon Beards and Belvederes is produced by Adam Bolden, Paul Rousseau, and Jerry Ullman. Edited by Jerry Ullman. Music by Ryan Johnson. You can find all of our links on our website at bourbonbeardsandbelvederes.com and at beacons.ai/bourbonbeards and belvederes. As always, enjoy your bourbon and cigars responsibly. Cheers.